السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا نحن نزلنا الذكر وإنا له لحافظون. صدق الله العظيم. Alhamdulillah, this is the first of our Hifdh tips, which will be short reminders, guidance, advice and tips for parents who have children or a child in Hifdh class, for students themselves, and inshallah maybe for those who are also looking to do Hifdh. Alhamdulillah, it is the sheer grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this country, mashallah, we have many Huffaz Kiram, and also running we have many classes. I would say in Blackburn alone, where I live, possibly over 1,000 male and female Hafidhul Qur'an. Such is not found in certain countries in other parts of Europe, in South America, for example. In a whole country, you won't find 100, let alone 1,000 Hafidhul Qur'an. So it is a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we should thank Allah profusely for this and not take it for granted. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to value and appreciate this blessing. Now, as part of the guidance and tips, there will be many things mentioned. First is that becoming a Hafidh or Hafidha, it's not fardh ayn. You don't have to do completion of the full Qur'an. It is fardh kifaya as a ruling. And I'm saying this because many parents force their children, if you can use that word, force, that they must do it. Because parents often put their children on a pedestal, and they're not attending a certain school, a certain madrasa, they're not in certain sets in school, and they're not in Hafidh class, for example, then they're not good enough, in simple words. So we must remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made everybody different. Some people will be Hafidh al-Qur'an, some people may become an alim, some children an alima, and some may do neither, which doesn't mean they're bad kids or bad Muslims. They may become doctors and dentists, and they may become good Muslims. So we shouldn't force our children. And at the same time, I am going to say, if you do want to put your child into Hifdh class, you shouldn't completely leave it on the child as well. Some parents say, despite the child having ability, oh, my child's not ready for this because he doesn't want to do it. Now, a child at 7, 8, 9 years old wouldn't know what's best for him. There's no harm in asking the child, but I wouldn't completely leave it to the child himself or herself. There has to be encouragement, positive encouragement, let them know the rewards. So I'm saying this because I know many children with capability, and sometimes the parents, well, we've asked the child, and the child is saying no. And then they leave it, and sometimes it's later on in life when maybe they're 14, 15, 16. Not saying there's an age limit to Hifdh, but obviously for children it does get harder with school and GCSEs once they're in year 10, year 11, or even college age to start Hifdh. It is better to start in a young age because we know what children memorize in young age gets engraved and etched into their memories. I have children in my class who are of different ages doing Hifdh. Some are in primary school and some are in high school as far as year 9, year 10, year 11. And then on the other side, I have boys in my revision class who are in their 20s, some in their 30s, and they're starting Hifdh because it's never too late. So we shouldn't be so rigid sometimes, like some people, even ulama and Hufad, have made it only a certain age you can do Hifdh. So inshallah, we will start in the next audio with some tips and advice. This was just an introduction, and for those who are seeking to do Hifdh, inshallah, it will be a reminder. Because like I mentioned, it is a miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have hundreds of children, boys and girls, sometimes young as 6 and 7, starting to memorize the Qur'an. And we see that the same children, if you give them a book in their own language, which is predominantly English in this country, they won't be able to memorize even a page, let alone a whole book. So it is the miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us all a portion of the Qur'an in reading and from memory. Ameen. Subhanallah bihamdi. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika. Wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu